process. Talking about the further process, when we extract text from the images of the document, we can categorize the document to categories like injury documents, crime scene, or evidence, other evidence into categorization. And we can use it for like imagine that we have like a case photos, and then we have to instead of using the person to manually sort it, we can use AI to classify the image into useful categories. Like this is the crime scene photos, this is the injury documentation, so it's easier to organize and review afterward. Beyond sorting, we can use pattern recognition technique to find the repeated structure across the different documents. Like document examination, we can use AI to analyze and compare handwritten or signature or seal to identify the possible fraud activities. Like here we can use it to identify like whether it's the signature of the same person or not. Like this one is said matching score is about 0.75 score. Maybe it's trustable that this document is from the same person. Moving to the second pillar, which is the analyzing people. At most direct application is the facial recognition. So we can use this technique to identify and verification, like tracking the courtroom attendance, making whitelists and blacklists that have authorized to enter the courtroom. But this is very uncommon for most of the country because there is against like a privacy law in many countries, but some countries like China use this kind of technique to identify person in the courtroom. And another possible application is emotion recognition. This technique is used the micro expression analysis to assess people's stress, anxiety, or try to find the truth, whether the person is telling the truth or not. So we can use the emotion recognition in witness credibility assessment by monitoring the facial expression of the witness during the testimony to find a sign like stress, anxiety, or confident. With this insight, it helps assessing the truthfulness and the emotion states of the witness. So we can also use it for the evaluate the emotion state of the people who attend to the court hearing, like so the legal personnel can respond to that particular participants effectively during the court hearing. Like they might be angry and disappointed with the court decision, they might act something really harmful, so the legal personnel can detect it first and then action faster. However, when using the computer vision in judicial system, the biggest challenge is definitely privacy concern. Deploying technology like facial recognition in public space, especially in the courtroom, might have a massive privacy implications that we have to take it seriously. In many countries it's prohibited and some countries allowed to do so. So the second challenge is the risk of bias in model. If computer vision model is trained on the data set that is not diverse enough, it can become biased and leading to the unfair and discriminatory outcome. And finally, we have to talk about the accuracy and reliability of the system, because this system are, yes, of course, impressive, but it's not always 100% accurate. So the performance might depend on the environment condition, lighting, or even like image quality. So this is crucial because the small error that can have impactful consequences in the ecosystem. Moving from the computer vision, we entering the era of generative AI, and this era represents a huge shift in the judicial process. This shift is called the move from analysis to creation, because the traditional AI help analysis and deal with the routine tasks, but just so you know that generative AI is capable for generating the new content, including text, image, audio, videos based on the training data. So it's like from analysis and routine tasks to creation. Well, the engine behind the generative AI, like deepfake, is GAN. GAN stands for Generative Adversarial Network. So it's work like this. It's the process of the two competitive models, the generators and the discriminator. These two work against each other. The generator creates synthesis data, while the discriminator evaluates the authenticity of the data. So they optimize and compete each other until the system can learn to create the hyper-realistic deepfake that's really hard to differentiate. Have you ever why it doesn't show? Can you see in the slide? No, I mean, the photo doesn't show here. I don't know why. It's the image of the puffer jacket Pope. Have you ever seen through the internet? That the Pope wear like a white puffer jacket, like very hip hop style. And everyone like believe that why the Pope is so cool. And actually is the fake image, not the real Pope that actually wear that puffer jacket. It's go viral all over the world. So we are facing the crisis where the old standard is seeing is believing is not true anymore, right? With I wonder why it doesn't show up. Oh, there. Here, have you ever seen this photo? It's go viral all over the world because everybody like, whoa, this Pope is so cool. But actually it's not the real image of the Pope. So seeing if it is believing is not true anymore in this era. Think about the evidence fabrication. So the image that is filed to the court or video that's submitted as the evidence, how it can be trusted, that is the real evidence. It's really hard for the court to differentiate that. Like if we want to have the image of the crime scene, maybe it's edited by AI, like blood everywhere, but it like can create some kind of the crime scene without nothing. And it is very hard for the judge or the court to consider what is the real evidence actually is. So we can fire the file with the fire using GANs vs GANs. Here we can use it to detect. We can use deepfake to detect deepfake. You know, like we can use this technology to authenticate the image or video evidence by detecting the anomalies like strange mouth movement or irregularly blinking or consistent element in the frame or in the image. With this technology, the court staff can verify the authentication of the evidence before passing through the judicial process. Beyond the threat, we can also use it for we can use the generative AI for document drafting and assistance. The generative AI like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini can assist in automated document drafting for the legal personnel. Not only that, we can apply the generative AI as the interactive legal assistant as well, which enhance their productivity and efficiency to another level. Since generative AI can produce highly realistic content, it is considered as a double sword, because one of the most important concerns is the authenticity and trustworthiness. That's the risk that AI can create the fake but convincing image, text, or video, which is very dangerous for misleading information. The second issue is the training complexity and resources, because developing the generative AI requires large language model, right? So it's required a lot of high quality data that produce reliable results. So have you ever heard about like garbage in, garbage out? If the AI model is trained on the garbage data or like not quality data, the result is not accurate and can be really unreliable. So therefore, the data used in training data should be taken into the serious consideration and cleaned or verified before using for the data training. And another one is the regulatory concern, because using generative AI in legal system, we must align with the strict regulatory standards and ethical guidelines to ensure the fairness and protects people's rights. In terms of the generative AI like LLM or large language model in judicial process, one of the famous problem is hallucination. AI can come up with full of shit thing because it is not trained on. So AI hallucination happen when you ask things that is not in the scope of the training data. So it come up with the convincing information. In real world, we have seen the case that the lawyer has been sanctioned by the court for citing the completely fake legal case. Like he might use ChatGPT to find the reference for the case like this, and then ChatGPT come up with like case of nowhere, and he actually used it in his paper and file it to the court, and then the court can notice that, and he was sanctioned by the court, so he cannot be the lawyer anymore. So that's why it's very crucial that when applying generative AI in judicial process, but the hallucination is still occur, is destroy the credibility of the case. So we should fix this, we should have the fixed structure and ground AI output to make sure that the output of the AI is not invented or created out of nowhere. It has to ground with the factual data. To fix this, we can use the framework called RAG. Do you know, anybody know RAG? R-A-G? It stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. This framework should be applied because it is help bridging the gap between LLM creativity power and the need for factual reliability. Instead of letting AI come up with the fake information when it doesn't know the information that should be the answer, we connect LLM to the trusted knowledge base, like verified organizational database or the source of document that the AI should learn before giving the answer to us. So this scope down AI knowledge and retrieve the verified data before providing the output for us. technically, this stops AI from inventing the fake output. When the user asks a query, the system doesn't go to LLM directly. It's look at the database and the verified data to ensure that the data to ensure that the answer is grounded with the factual data. And if the answer is not in the database, the AI are not allowed to make it up because it has to do citation. So where is this piece of information come from? The database that we provide. So with RAG, it's turned AI from creative writer into the precise legal researcher for us. So many legal firm and the court these days using LLM together with RAG to help on generated information or finding the supporting information for us during the judicial process. We can actually see it in production, like in Germany, the tool for 4K is used generative AI with RAG to draft the judgment for air passenger rights case based on the previous case file. And they also have like in Vincent AI to draft the memo that come with the verified and clickable citation. So the legal personnel can use this system, AI system, and then go to the reference information or citation without like have AI hallucination in their work. And I think from here we should take a break, right? Okay, we should take a break and then come back around 10:30. Right, actually what time did you guys take a break? Oh, remembering. And how long? Oh, all right. So, okay. So the class will start again at 10:30. All right. So right now, please take a break, and then we continue to the evolution of the trajectory of AIs. Okay. เดี๋ยวนี้ปี2ถึงปี4ยังไปเรียนที่บางกะดีอยู่ปะเดี๋ยวนี้ปี2ถึงปี4ยังเรียนที่บางกะดีอยู่ปะอ๋อโอเคมาอยู่นี่หรอเพราะว่าตอนนั้นที่พี่เรียนคือแบบว่ากันดารมากแต่ว่ามีร้านอาหารน้อยมากตอนนี้มีร้านอาหารเยอะยังโอเคพี่ก็ไปที่วัดจริงๆวัดใช่วัดสันเจ้าอะไรนะคะอยู่แถวนี้ดีกว่าใช่ใช่ตรงนู้นมันแต่เดี๋ยวนี้มีห้างแล้วแต่ก่อนพี่ไปกินข้าวกลางวันอย่างไกลถ้าเรียนบางกะดีคบเพื่อนมีรถไว้อยากเรียนอะไรอ่ะตอนนี้ก็ต้อง US ไหมเรารู้สึกว่า US น่าจะเวิร์กนะ US หมายถึงอเมริกาใช่ดีนะใช่ apply มันมีพวก scholarship นี่ปีปีหนึ่งอัดเรียนเยอะๆไว้ปีหนึ่งอัดเรียนไม่รู้สไตล์พี่นะปีหนึ่งอัดเรียนเยอะๆไว้ปีปลายๆจะได้สบายๆก็พี่ก็อัดเต็มอ่ะเอาหรออัดเต็มอยู่แล้วหรอเอาหรออ๋อเดี๋ยวนี้ยังมีเรียนนี้อยู่ไหม EL ภาษาอังกฤษอะ EL อะไรสักอย่างเป็นอะไรอ๋อมันไม่ได้แบ่งเป็นเลเวลแล้วปะก็คือเรียนเหมือนกันหมดของพี่มันเหมือนมันมีเป็นเลเวลแล้วถ้าสมมติว่าอันสูงก็เทอมต่อไปก็ไม่ต้องเรียนแล้วอะใช่ไหมอ๋อนั่นแหละมันก็ไม่ต้องเรียนวิชาหนึ่งแล้วไงลงได้อีก1 วิชาลงได้ปะโอ้เพราะว่าของพี่พอตอนปี4ที่เหลือแบบเทอมสุดท้ายมีเรียนวิชาเดียวแล้วก็แบบได้เวลาแห่งการ explore ว่าเราจะไปทำอะไรอะไรเงี้ยจะได้แบบว่ามีเวลาดูว่าเราอยากจะไปเรียนที่ไหนต่อได้ Okay, should we continue so we can finish the class early today? After this, we will have a small quiz for you guys too. Okay, so here we have the evolutionary trajectory of AI. So because technology isn't standstill, because we are currently moved through the trajectory of AI. For early stage, in phase 1, we have the writer, generative AI that focus on text generation and summarization. And then phase 2, we have the researcher, where AI agent can perform data analysis and has ability to use tools to provide the output or the action for us. And right now we are entering phase 3, that we have the worker or the workforce, where this is where the concept of agentic AI that occur, that we can build the agentic workforce or workflow system to handle multi-steps and planning and autonomous task execution for us. With this concept of agentic AI, we are moving further from passive AI chatbot that wait for our prompt to the autonomous agent that work together with us. For AI chatbot, it simply text in, text out, right? So answer based on the training data. But the agent shifts from text in to action out. The AI agent has ability to access tool, connect to API, perform actions in real world as well. The main difference here is the autonomy. The AI agent isn't just like provide information, it's plan, reasoning, execute tasks without the needing us to hold its hands for every step. So this is an example how agent work using the chain of thought processing, which is a step-by-step logical thinking style. Imagine that we are asking AI, like analyze the breach of contact risk for me. The agent will realize that this goal or this outcome is complicated, so it's decide to break it down into tasks and select the appropriate tools to function each task. From there, it will drive into the document managing system here to locate the contract, and then it will read through the document to pull out the information for the effective data and terminating clause. And then it will take those information and compare it with the statutes of limitation, and finally generate the risk assessment memo for us. This is an example of the thinking process after an AI agent. But what if we want AI to perform more complex tasks? We can create the agentic workflow with more than one agent that work with each other. For example, we want AI to analyze the merger for compliance risk. We will, from there, the system will kick into the autonomous execution, passing the job down the assembly line for the specialized AI agent. For agent 1, the reader, it will read the data for all necessary documents from the database management and then pass through the output to the agent 2, the strategist. This agent will identify and extract the juristic and legal statute and apply to the specific merger, and then pass the information to agent 3, which is the researcher. It will cross-reference the actual contracts against those complex regulations, and then give the result to agent 4, which is the drafter. It will handle the document drafting task with citation information, and then pass through the agent 5, which is a quality controller. It will review its own work and then correct the error before presenting it to us. And here, the most important part of the cycle, entire cycle, is the final step where human had to do the final revision before actually use it. It's come to the golden rule, which is human in the loop policy. This is the golden rule and the fundamental rule that whatever created or generated by AI, human must be the one who validate whether along the way or the final step. This is the golden rule of using AI in judicial process and using AI in any process. As the technology of AI is truly double-edged sword, so we have to look at the both pros and cons. Starting with the bright side, let's see the benefit of using AI in judicial process. So, what do you think? What is the benefit of using AI in judicial process? Any idea? Could you please share by scanning the QR code? all that. Reduce human bias. It helps with the process. No human error. Let's connect. It cannot be bribed. Exactly. More efficient process, faster, less human resource, reduce workload, increase speed, make process easier. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I like this one. It cannot be bribed. Exactly. Yes. Of course. If the model is trained on the bias information, it's not hackable, but it cannot be like straightforward. So it is very important that we have to verify the data of the training data before actually use it. Very, very important, especially for the course setting. One of the biggest and obvious benefits is speed and accuracy, efficiency, yeah? Because it's automated the routine tasks, so the legal personnel can dedicate more time and their energy to the more complex tasks and that require their critical thinking or specialized knowledge. The next one is accuracy. As you said so, that it has more accuracy and lessen the human errors because the system is designed to process the large volume of data with precision, minimizing the human errors. And with AI, we have improved legal research instead of using keyword search, like step by step, and has no connectivities in the past decisions or the relevance law. The AI can quickly analyze the large amount of data, make it easier to find the relevant case law, related regulations that would take human researchers much time to do, and it's AI handling in this legal research, the legal personnel can prepare their case faster and more efficiently. And next one is the better decision making because we have data-driven insights. So AI system can analyze data and provide the valuable insight and guidance strategy for legal personnel or the judge in order to increase the consistency and the accuracy. Imagine that the court decision change over time. If actually the case are quite the same, but the court decision may be vary. So where is the consistency, right? So with AI, it can like show the tendency of the previous decision case, and then we can compare it with the decision at the moment or the tendency of the case at the moment. So we can decide whether it will go with the align with the previous cases or breaking the law, breaking the rule and do the different way. And one of the most impactful benefits of AI is increase the access of justice. The technology like chatbot bridging the gap for the individual that may not have easy access to the legal resource or personal assistant, making the public service and justice more accessible. Like people who cannot have like money to hire the lawyer, you can use like AI chatbots for assistance or to prepare the case instead of hire the lawyer. In plus, With AI, its benefit in cost reduction. AI contribute in lessening the cost in many ways. For example, AI can automate the routine tasks for the judicial task, so it significantly reduce the administrative overhead for the court. And AI can handle the document review and analysis, which lower the cost of the lawyer's fee for the public, and as it enable the online hearing or virtual court hearing or the remote assistance, so it's lessen the burden of the travel expense as well. So both is benefit for both legal personnel and the public. And what about concerns or things that we, like you just asked, like is AI can be manipulated or the result can be bribed actually? What do you think? What is the concern of using AI in judicial process? Please share your idea. Let's see what the class think about like the concerns of using AI. There are so many concerns, many more than benefit when talking about concerns. Bias. Anything else? Bias, hallucinations. That's his the point. I don't know why it doesn't go. Okay. Misinformation, data quality, AI hallucination, judgment bias. In my opinion, really hard to. Because the law is not like, there is no law that really imply and allow to do so. In Thailand, I guess it can be used as an assistant, like recommend the result or recommend only the small cases. Only like no. Just for small simple case, like it's actually like yeah, something like that. It's simple, like always right or wrong, nowhere in the middle, nothing much to consider, like robbery or fighting each other is obvious. That is automated by AI. But the things that need human judgment still has a human judge to do so. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the first one is correct. It's hallucination problem. Wait. Hallucination problem, because using generative AI, especially generated text, can the hallucination problem might occur because it might generate incorrect information but present it confidently and persuasively. This phenomenon is the hallucination. And there are so many types of hallucinations like sentence contradiction, prompt contradiction, factual contradiction, nonsensical output, or even irrelevant or random hallucination. So to minimize the risk of hallucination in judicial process, the best way is to avoid using the generated AI content directly or integrated RAG into the LLM system. Or if we want to use generated AI content, then we can ask the legal expert to review the content before actually use it. Another huge concern is the transparency. Just so you know that many AI models are black box. We don't even know how it comes to the output or the logical thinking of the AI. That's why right now, like Gemini or ChatGPT has like the feature thinking process. So we know how it comes to the end of the final answer for us. So the solution here to cope is to have the explainable AI. Do you know what explainable AI? The AI that can explain itself, aka XAI. Okay, so the explainable AI is designed to provide a clear, understandable reason for their output or their decision. And here is the principle of the explainable AI. The first one is explanation. AI must be able to actually explain how it reached the conclusion, and that conclusion or explanation must be meaningful, like that the person can understand. For example, the long string of code is not meaningful for a human. It should be in like text or readable, understandable language, and and the explanation must be accurate and exactly how it's actually due, and otherwise it shouldn't coming with some misleading reason. It should be reasonable as well. And the last principle is knowledge limit. AI must know its own limit. If it's not confident enough, it shouldn't, or it have not enough data, it should say, I don't know, or ask for more information instead of guessing or come up with like random information. And these principles are the foundation of trust. Without this, AI is just a black box and it's not accountable. And another concern is data quality and data quantity. The more data, the more accuracy of AI. Yes, of course. But that more data, if it's not the quality data, it's garbage in, garbage out, right? So that's why the performance and reliability of AI model depend heavily on quality and the quantity of data. To cope with this concern, we have to ensure that AI is trained on the high quality and verified data set, especially in the court setting. We need to verify the data before training it to the AI model, and also update data regularly to ensure the data accuracy. And another concern is model bias. You guys are right. As AI can produce biased outcome if it's trained on biased data. This is one of the most famous example of model bias. This is the outcome of the COMPASS system that used in US earlier, that we learned earlier. The COMPASS has the racial bias. It's most likely to flag black defendants as the higher score for reoffending crime because the model was trained on the white defendant perspective, that black person tend to commit crime more than white person. Look at this. Like, even though the crime information is very small, the risk score is 10. While the white defendants here commit a lot of crime, but the model said this is low risk, only 3. So this is one of the most impactful information example that model bias has very, very important impact to the legal setting, because the bias can directly impact on people's life and lead to discriminatory outcome in bail and sentence decision. To solve this issue, we must use diverse and unbiased data set and conduct the audit regularly to make sure that this is not happen to the court setting. And another concern is data privacy. Of course, in court field, the data set often contain a lot of high sensitive information, personal information like address, financial statements, or health history, which is like a private data. The risk here is very significant because there is the risk that there will be the data breach. So have to use 3 layers of defense, like strong data encryption, anonymization, and strictly comply with the privacy regulations like PDPA. Yeah, and have you ever noticed that if we use AI decide with brain, only brain, but when human decide, we use both brain and heart. That's why sometimes using AI to make a decision might be too straightforward. It's lack of sympathy, empathy, and it cannot fully understand human emotion, behavior, or individual circumstance. So in this case, the outcome of AI can be too strict and can be unfair, or lack of compassion and understanding. That's why it's a must to have human involved in the decision that require empathy and moral judgment. And yeah, what happens if AI make mistake? Who to blame? The developer, the judge, or the government? It's still gray area, right? So it's a tangle web of the accountability and responsibility when AI give incorrect outcome and take part of the wrong decision. The solution here is never give AI a full authority. But China and in the court in China and the court of Estonia there with that, because it's like only true or false case, no in the middle, so it's easy, right? But in the complex case or more context had to be taken into the account. The AI has no full authority to decide that case. Another interesting concern is intellectual property, or IP. If we use generative AI to draft the document, who is the owner of that document? The one who drafted, the developer of the AI, or who is the owner? It's very like a gray area of the ownership of AI generated content, especially in the legal document. Therefore, it is better to establish a clear stance and regulations regarding to the intellectual property rights to make sure that everybody involved understand their rights and responsibility. And finally, one of the massive challenge of adopting AI in judicial process is human mindset, human involved, and the resistance of change and the fear of losing their job is the biggest obstacle when it comes to the AI adoption. When people are afraid of change or curious about AI potential, it creates like a hesitation, and we can push the technology in legal system even harder. To overcome this barrier, it's essential to emphasize the benefits of using AI and reinforce that the mindset that AI is here to enhance human capabilities, not to replace them. So once it's become in our daily life, this concern will eventually getting better and better. And this gives us to the final and the most critical module, which is AI guardrail. We have to take a look at both global and Thai AI guardrail. So if we want to create or develop AI application, especially for the court setting, what things that we should concern. One of the notable and important framework is from EU AI Act. The EU AI Act is the world's first law on AI. It's categorized AI application into 4 tiers of risk: unacceptable, high, limited, and minimal risk. The developer should determine whether which tier that the application falls into. The first tier is the red light tier, which is the unacceptable in EU, in European Union. AI in this level is strictly prohibited. This includes something like social scoring by the government. Like the government of China used this social scoring, but EU is not allowed to do so. Like real-time biometric ID in public space for law enforcement. If you do something against the law, your credit score is decreased. It is not prohibited. It is not allowed in EU. And this is, if you want to build or develop such system, it is illegal in EU. Next one, high-risk AI. If we build the AI system that affects the infrastructure, educations, or employment or public service, under EU AI Act, we must have a strict assessment to prove that the system is safe enough to be used in the public. On the technical backend, the architecture required mandatory human oversight, data governance, impact assessment, and always keep log to ensure that every single decision is auditable. This is a requirement for the high-risk AI application in EU. And step down to the high-risk zone, level 3, which is a limited risk. And this tier entirely about the principle of transparency.